Hello, ma'am. Good morning. Fine. Is it Friday possible for a student for Friday? Yeah, sure. Okay, fine. Yeah. So what our Newton's law says is the temperature dependence term of reaction rate as A naught into e power minus e by r. What we discussed about K? What is K? Rate constant. It's a rate constant. Now can we define rate constant? How we define rate constant?
Rate of formation of product.
See, how we write any rate expression? Let us say, for example, A is plus B, and it write as minus R is equal to something K multiplied by concentration of A to the power of the stoichiometric quotient. That would be your order. That may be if nth order, it is n. Is it not? Now let us suppose take concentration as 1 moles per liter, or that is nothing but unit concentration. Now what is your K? K is equal to minus RA by CA per L. Is it not? K is equal to divided. So I made this as unity so that my rate constant will be equal to rate. So how I define rate constant? Rate constant is a one which is equal to rate of reaction for unit molar concentration. So that is the definition of rate constant. So how we define rate constant? Rate constant is the rate of reaction for unit molar concentration. If I assume concentration to be 1, then the rate constant will become rate. Is it not? So if I made Ca to be 1, so this K will be equal to Ra. Ra is nothing but the rate. So what is rate constant? Rate constant is rate of reaction for unit mole of concentration. That means I made C as 1. Now here itself from the definition can I calculate like this? Can I conclude? Because from the definition, rate constant says it's a rate when unit molar concentration. So I assume to be concentration to be unity. So the rate constant is rate. So definitely the rate constant is independent of concentration because I made it C as 1. Is it not? So this is very, very important point. Rate constant is independent of concentration. Now what is the unit of rate constant now? The unit of rate constant is time inverse concentration power 1 minus n. Time inverse concentration power 1 minus n. Let us suppose n equal to 0. That is zero order reaction. Zero order reaction. Now what is the rate constant units? Zero order. Keep n equal to 0. That means time inverse concentration power 1. So that means time inverse means 1 by time. Concentration means concentration units, moles per liter. So this is the unit of rate constant for zero order. So similarly for first order it can be n equal to 1. First order k equal to first order. First order keep 1. So 0. So concentration for 0 means 1. So units will be 1 by time inverse. 1 by time, that means 1 by second or 1 by hour, whatever it may be. 1 by time units. Now for second order n equal to 2. Second order n equal to 2. What is the unit of rate constant? N equal to 2. That means 1 minus 2. That means minus 1. That means the concentration will be down. So 1 by time units, 1 by concentration units. So that means finally moles per liter. That means liter will go up, time moles. Okay. So this is what the definition of rate constant, unit of rate constant. Fine. We already done problem on the rate constant units. In the previous class, we have done one problem. Rate units are given, concentration units asked in time and hours, something like that, and asked to find the K value in K units. This is not the problem we have done. So I rearrange the K units such a way that if I multiply the concentration, I get the rate units. That's what the problem we have solved. So ultimately, we should know what is K, how we define, is it dependent on concentration, independent. Now what is the unit? The unit of rate constant is time inverse concentration for 1 minus n. So n may be the order of the reaction. Keep n equal to 0 for zero order, n equal to 1 for first order, n equal to 2 for second order. Accordingly, you find out the units of the rate constant. Clear? No, Arrhenius law talks about the temperature dependency of reaction rate. Temperature dependency of reaction rate. That is what Arrhenius law talks about. So your K is K naught e power minus e by RT. Okay, that means your rate is something like K multiplied by something like concentration. Now this K is this one. That means what? Minus R is equal to K naught e power minus e by RT into something concentration. Fine. I am just replacing K here. Now this is what Arrhenius law of temperature dependency. There are two other laws also, or two other theorems also. Collision theory, transition state theory, or activated complex theory. So here Arrhenius law talks about your K is proportional to E power minus E by RT, is it not? That proportionality is replaced with equal to K naught, something constant value, and that constant value is called free exponential factor or collision factor we discussed. Now what collision theory says is, we already discussed it. The effective number of collisions, I discussed it. The effective number of collisions. What is effective number of collisions? the collisions which lead to the successful product formation. Because I already told, not all collisions will give you the product. Not all collisions will give you the product. Only some effective collisions. Why I said effective collisions? Because when atoms or molecules or ions are colliding, the orientation is also plays an important role. In correct orientation only it has to collide. Otherwise there is no product formation. I give an example also. CO plus NO2 gives rise CO2 plus NO. So in that reaction, carbon with oxygen bonding, similarly nitrogen with oxygen bonding, in particular orientation only this O and O should react. Otherwise you cannot get CO2 linear structure. So if this is the atom and this is the atom, in only particular orientation only it has to collide. If it collides with this, there is no collision. There is no effective product formation. Only certain orientation only it has to collide. That is what we discussed. So this collision theory talks about the effective collisions, successful collisions. So in that theory, this K is proportional to T power half into E power minus E by RT. In Arrhenius law, only E power minus E by RT. That's why we replace this proportionality with the equal symbol with K naught. But whereas in collision theory, the rate constant is proportional to not only the effective number of collisions, it also varies with the T power 1 by 2 term. In activated complex theory, K is proportional to T into E power minus E by RT. Of course, these two theories have not explained properly the connectivity of temperature dependence with the reaction rate. Only Arrhenius law is more generally suitable for many reactions, wherein the rate constant is proportional to E power minus E by RT. We talk about this only, we focus more on the Arrhenius law only. Okay? So, rest of the theories, though they talk about collision theory, what is transition state theory? Whenever I discuss that, whenever the reactants are forming a product, the reactants, when they form the product, they have to pass through some barrier. So, because this much of energy they require to pass the barrier, then only they will get the product. So, this is called activation energy we talk about. So, this state where reactant reaches to a state called activated complex state. Activated complex state or transition state. Activated complex state or transition state. That means what? Reactants will slowly collide, but the collisions are not effective because the activation energy is not supplied. So once they got some supplements of this activation energy, the effective number of collisions will increase. Slowly it reaches to some barrier and then it crosses the barrier to get the product. That is what the collision theory connected with the transition state theory. That means it will form a state. That state is called transition state or activated complex state. After forming this state only the product will form. Fine. So what is the difference between the three theories? First theory is only E power minus E by RT. This theory is T power half E power minus E by RT. This is T E power minus E by RT. But more general, suitable for many of the reactions is Arrhenius law rather than the other two theories. Other two theories are failed to explain some of the concepts which are not valid at this point of time because we are only focused on the Arrhenius law, because Arrhenius law of temperature dependency has a lot of scope either in experiments or in the theoretical point of view. Why I am saying is, let us look at one of the trends so that you get lot of questions in the GATE exam. Let me give one or two the GATE exam point of view. This is what the trend, fine. This slope is what? Minus E by R. Not RT. Because the 1 by T we are drawing on the x-axis. That slope is minus E by R only because I told you ln k equal to ln k naught plus ln E minus E by RT. it y equal to mx plus c. This m is minus c by r. X is this because minus c by r multiplied by 1 by t is mx. Fine. And this is ln k. Fine. Now look at now there are three reactions going on, and for the first reaction ln k versus 1 by t graph is this. For second reaction ln k versus 1 by t graph is this. For third reaction ln k versus 1 by t graph is this. So there are n number of questions based on these concepts. So the first question, which reaction is temperature insensitive among the three? So a graph is given like this and a question is asked. Among the three reactions 1, 2, 3, which reaction is temperature insensitive? 1, 2, 3 or none? Which reaction is dominate? Which reaction is faster at lower temperature or faster at higher temperature? So these sort of questions will come in the exam. I just given a few only. The concept is same. If you understand the concept, you can answer these questions very simply. So what is the trend of ln k versus 1 by t graph? Ln k versus 1 by t graph, you know, because when I taken the k equal to k naught e4 minus e bar t, when I take the logarithm forms, I got something y equal to mx. Then I draw ln k versus 1 by t. Then my slope is minus e by r. That is, slope is e by r, negative sign is there, so the curve is this one. So if I get like this, negative slope. If I get like this, positive slope, you know that. Fine. So I got this negative slope. So what is this slope? If I draw any tangent, horizontal line, what it means? Horizontal line means slope 0. Horizontal line means slope 0. If I have a curve like this, if I want to draw a tangent, what is slope here? 0. If I draw a tangent here, I get some slope. How I estimate the slope? Take 2 points, x2, x1, y2, y1, y2 minus y1 by x2 minus y1 is the slope. So this point has some slope, this point has some slope, this point has some slope, but this point has slope 0. Horizontal lines having slope 0. So slope 0 means what? That means what? Slope 0 means what? Even at a very any temperature, I am always getting the same k value, is it not? See, take t equal to some 200, I may get this point. What is my value? This one. Take t 400, again the curve is this only, same value. Take t 600, same value. That means temperature insensitive, not at all varying with the temperature. Temperature insensitive. Because even at a very any temperature on the axis, the curve is very horizontal. I am always getting the same k value. Always getting the same k value means always getting the same reaction rate. Temperature independent, temperature insensitive. So among 1, 2, 3, what is the answer for this one?
conceptual. I no need to explain all these taking the peels of a banana. When you got the concept, you can able to understand. Is it clear? What is wrong in here? You know Ln cases 1 by t. Horizontal line slope 0 is a mathematical concept. You have from 10 plus 2 stage. Horizontal means slope 0. Slope 0 means E by R 0. E by R 0 means completely if I vary any t, I am getting the same value of k, same value of rate. So independent of temperature. Temperature is sensitive. Now what is second one? Which reaction is the dominate? What means the dominate? That means faster. Dominate means faster. That means among 1, 2, 3, which is faster reaction? How will you? Karna? How will you? Karna? Slope. That's all. Larger slope, larger k value. See here this value k. If I have a curve anything like this much of slope, so I may have this one. Little bit. You see the slope, larger slope. Here slope is 0. If I little bit turn, some slope is there. That means some k value is there. If I little bit, some slope is there. You see the curve here. This much of slope is there. Larger slope, larger E value, larger base. So faster is reaction 3. You see one is how much slope? You check, see, this is horizontal line. Horizontal means 0 slope. Only slightly it has slope. But you look at this slope. If it is horizontal, this much of angle, this much of slope, larger E values. More E, highest value. Now look at which reaction is faster at low temperatures. Which reaction is faster at high temperatures? Very simple. I don't know why you are confusing. We need to get faster or slower. How do you confirm faster or slower? If the reaction rate is faster, its reaction is faster. If reaction rate is slower, reaction is slower. Reaction rate is faster means K value should be high. Reaction rate is slow means K value should be low, because we already defined what is K. What is K? It's a reaction rate when unit molar concentration. Just now we defined. That means K is represents the rate only. So high K value, high reaction rate. Low K value, low reaction rate. Now he is asking a question, which reaction is faster? That means which reaction has a high K value at low temperatures. Low temperatures means T is small. T is small, but the axis is 1 by T. That means high T. See, this is 1 by T is lower value. This is 1 by T higher value. I want low temperature. So that means 1 by T should be higher. 1 by T higher. So in 1 by T higher, look at any line at higher value which has the highest K. That means if I draw this curve, so maybe I may take all the points there. Let us say this is the first equation, this one, and then this is the third one. Now for all the curves, I should take a higher one. Maybe not here. If I draw any line higher value. If I draw any line higher value, which curve has high K? Which curve has high K? You just check. See, we need to check depending on the curves, lower temperatures, higher temperatures, because the question is asked at low temperature, high temperature. Low temperature means 1 by T should be high value, maybe, and high temperature means lower value.
has high value. You see, this is only this equation 2 only this much. Fine. But 3 has this much value. But at this row there is no connectivity of 1 here. So we cannot take 1. Only what is at low, what is the highest value of K? So that is 3. So for high temperature this is 3. And for the low temperature? Low means high. Take high. Among the high, take higher value. Which is highest K? Because the highest K 2 is also there, but 2 is value, this was low value compared to 1. So depending on either low or high, we have to check the curves. And check which curve has high K or low K. If high K is there, high reaction rate. Low K is there, low reaction rate. Is it okay? Note down a problem. The following two statements pertain to the reaction 2A plus B gives rise to C. Following two statements are pertaining to the reaction 2A plus B gives rise to C, for which the rate is given as K into concentration of A into concentration of B. See, we represent concentrations in these brackets. We know that. Either we write C of A or just A in the square brackets. Anything can be equal. Either A represented as CA or A in the square brackets. So you have written like this. Identify which statement is true and which is false. Identify which statement is true and which statement is false. So what is the first statement? We written the first statement as the value of K is independent of initial concentrations. That means A at 0, comma B at 0. That means initial concentrations. That means the concentration at T equal to 0. That is the first statement. Now the second statement is the unit of rate constant for this reaction. Is second inverse. Assume the reaction is an elementary reaction. Now you tell me, among the two statements, which statement is correct, that is true, which statement is false. So two statements are given. Now check for the two statements. Which statement is true? Which statement is false? What is the statement of A?
The value of K is independent of initial concentration.
The value of K is independent of initial concentration. True or false?
True, sir.
True. Just now we discussed this because we defined K as
the rate at unit molar concentration. So it is independent of concentration. So the concentration may be at zero concentration, whatever it may be, it is independent of concentration. So statement A is true. Statement A is true. Now look at statement B. The unit of rate constant for this reaction is second inverse. How? Ututa member. A order de Bhavana, which order this reaction is? Huh? Correct. It's a second order reaction. What is the rate expression given? What is the rate expression given? Rate is equal to K into concentration of A into concentration of B. He said elementary. So what is the stoichiometric coefficient of A? What? Not 2, because rate expression, look at the rate expression, don't see the stoichiometry. Rate expression is only Ca, Cb. So A power is 1, B power is 1. So overall reaction rate is 2. We should look at the rate expression. We won't bother about the stoichiometric coefficient because already rate is given. If rate is not given, we will formulate the rate looking at the reaction. See, for example, for time being, this is not given. This is not given, but they said it's an elementary. Then how we write rate based on the stoichiometry? We will write K into A power 2, B power 1. Then overall reaction rate is 3. But already rate expression is given. Rate expression is already given. We won't look at the stoichiometric equation. Rate is given, assume it's elementary. So A power 1, B power 1, overall is 2. So n equal to 2. For n equal to 2, what is the K unit? Second order, what is the K unit? Just now we discussed it. But here given second inverse, that is the first order. So false. Is it clear? Don't confuse. Don't confuse. Rate expression given means we won't bother about whatever the stoichiometric equation. But when rate expression is not given, we have to carefully look at the stoichiometric equation. Accordingly, we have to write the rate expression if it is an elementary. If the same stoichiometric equation, if it is non-elementary, then we cannot write rate expression. I already told non-elementary reactions. Stoichiometry does not correspond to the rate expression. Does not correspond because a multiple step reaction, not a single step reaction. All non-elementary reactions are multiple step reactions. But elementary reactions are single step reactions. When you know the stoichiometric equation, you can write the rate expression. Is it clear? Don't confuse. Now, no doubt, another problem. In the reaction H2O2, gives rise H2O. The initial concentration of H2O2, that means H2O2 at initial, that means 0, is equal to 0.2546 molar Kaplan. And the initial rate of reaction is equal to 9.32 into 10 power minus 4 m per second. This is my phone only. You should not keep it in silence mode also, it seems. No? Someone's phone. Okay. So the initial rate of reaction is 9.32 into 10 power minus 4 m. M per second. What will be the H2O2 concentration? What will be the H2O2 concentration at T is equal to 35 seconds? Okay, let's read, understand how you look at the problem. See, when we define rate, first time when we define rate, how we define the rate? When we define rate, we define, maybe in the first class itself we define what is the rate. How we define the rate? Emma?
Number of moles of reactant disappear
Or number of moles of product formed per unit volume per time. Is it not our first definition? Because in a volume of reactor, what you take, if I add some reactants initially, they slowly disappear after some time. In that particular volume V, in that particular time T, how many moles disappeared is the rate, or how many moles formed is the rate, is it not? So we defined or we written rate as, yes, number of moles T by 1 kg. Is it not our expression? This is what our first definition, first expression. Fine. Now slowly after that there are different ways of defining the rates. Instead of volume we have used surface area, or we have used mass, or we have used volume of the reactor depending on the fluid solid type reactions or solid solid reactions. Whichever may be the different classification. We have replaced this V with either surface area or mass or volume of reactor, etc. etc. But ultimately the definition is the same. Number of moles disappeared for the reactant case or number of moles formed for the product case. Fine. Now, number of moles per unit volume. What is this? Concentration. What is concentration units? Moles per liter. Moles per liter. Is it not moles per liter? How much time? What you are taking? Number of moles, Ni is there, volume is known. So moles per volume is nothing but concentration. So I replace this dNi by V as dCi. Concentration by dt will be there. So the rate is dCi by dt, where C is moles per unit volume. Because our rate definition is moles per unit volume time. Now moles per unit volume is concentration. Now I am replacing equating with concentration per time. Now for differential time elements I can write this delta C by delta T. If I have certain cushion times. So I take delta C instead of dC. Infinitesimal time or infinite concentrations I can go by differential terms. But if I have some finite changes, I go by definite deltas. So delta C by delta T. That means what? What is delta C? Final concentration minus initial concentration. Delta T means final time minus initial time. Is it not? Now look at the problem. What he has given? He has given initial concentration. Maybe let us say initial means let us say C1.
initial rate of reaction. Let us say that is rate. Now he is asking H2O2 at some T value. That means this is what final concentration is asking. C2 is question mark. Final time is given. That is T2 is given, and T1 is 0 because 0 time. Initial means T1, 0 time. So your T1 is 0, your T2 is 35, your C1 is already given here, and he is asking C2, whereas this rate is left hand side rate is already given this value. So this equal to 9.32 into 10 power minus 4 he has given. So everything is known only except C2. అంతే కదమ్మా. నేను చేసింది ఏమీ లేదు, చిన్న బేసిక్ కాన్సెప్ట్. ఆ ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్లో 1/v dNA/dtని dCA/dt కింద రాస్తున్నాను. dC అంటే డెల్టా C అనుకున్నాను, డెల్టా C అంటే C2 మైనస్ C1 అనుకున్నాను. C1 అంటే ఇనీషియల్, C2 అంటే ఫైనల్. T1 అంటే ఇనీషియల్ టైం 0, T2 అంటే ఫైనల్ టైం 35 సెకండ్స్ వరకు ఇచ్చాడు. అవతల మన రేట్ కూడా ఆల్రెడీ ఇచ్చేసాడు, అన్ని ఇచ్చేసాడు. C2 కట్టాడు. దట్ ఈస్ ఫైనల్ కాన్సంట్రేషన్ అట్ T = 35. Zero point. What is that? That's the correct answer. 0.222. 0.222. Okay. Fine. Okay. In the reaction A gives rise products. In the reaction A gives rise products, we find that concentration of A, we found that concentration of A has fallen to half of its initial value. Concentration of A has fallen to half of its initial value, but the reaction proceeds at the same rate as its initial rate. But the reaction proceeds at the same rate as its initial rate. In the reaction A gives rise products, we found that concentration has fallen to half of its initial value. The reaction, however, but the reaction proceeds at the same rate as its initial rate. What is the reaction order? Very good. Very good answer. Zero order. How many times we discussed? Zero order, first order, second order. What is the definition? I given some examples also. Given small kid taking the chocolate example also. Second order type of reaction, chocolate eating. That's why when reaction rate becomes
4 times you double the reactions concentrations. So here the concentration is becoming half, but the reaction rate is same. So even though I vary the concentrations, reaction rates are not at all changing, zero order, independent of concentration. Why it took this much of time? That means you are not recollecting the mind properly. Several times with several examples I have given, I posed. Clear? Any doubt still? Zero order reaction. In the reaction A gives rise products. In the reaction A gives rise products with initial concentration A naught. Initial concentration A naught is equal to 1.512 m. In the reaction A gives us product, initial concentration A naught equal to 1.512 m. Concentration of A is found to be 1.496 m at T equal to 30. When the initial concentration is 2.584 m, the concentration of A is found to be 2.552 m at T equal to 1 minute. What is the reaction order? See, let us say my experiment number 1 and my initial concentration, my final concentration, my rate. Let us resume. Let us say for the first experiment, what is the initial concentration given? 1.512. What is the final concentration given? 1.496. Fine? So this is at what T? At T 30. This is at what T? At T 0. Because initial means what? 0. At T 0 this is A naught. At T 30 this is A. And what is the rate?
5.3
What is the rate?
5.3.
Just we have calculated no, delta C to delta T. Delta C, that means C2 minus C1 by delta T, T2 minus T1. So you estimate it, you get the rate
5.3 into 10 to the power 6.
something value, I don't know. Let us look at the second estimate. What is my A naught? 2.584. This is at T equals 0 because initial means 0. What is A? 2.552. This is at T equal to
1 minute, 60 seconds.
1 minute means 60 seconds. Everything you keep it in same minute, 60 seconds. Now what is my rate?
Same thing. C2 minus C1 by T2 minus T1. So you will get second rate. Rate 1, rate 2.
Zero.
No, wait. How to confirm? Zero order.
Yes, sir.
How?
Rate zero.
Got same value?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It's great. Otherwise, if anything differs, then how we proceed to find the rate? Same thing. Because A gives us product he has given. Fine. A gives us product has given. That means you can write minus R is equal to K into CA power N. You don't know N. Okay? So that means for first reaction I write minus R is equal to CA1 power N. For second reaction I write K into CA2 power N. Is it not? First reaction rate is R1 known, second reaction is R2 known. If I divide concentration of A known, concentration of second reaction I know. So this whole power N. So I know value of 1, I know value of 2, I know R1, I know R2, I can estimate N. So what is the answer? Zero. So you will get 0. N equal to 0. Otherwise, you can go by this way. Once you know R1, R2, because the rate expression is anything if you don't know, always assume K into CA power N. Because N we don't know. Then first experiment R1 KCA1 power N. Second experiment R2 KCA1 for the second point power N. Divide it. K get cancelled. Concentrations known. Not initial concentrations. Final concentrations you have to keep. Initial concentration you cannot keep. CA1, CA2, R1, R2, substitute here, get here. Is it okay? Fine. I think I have covered many varieties of problems from unit number 1. Still there are a lot of varieties are also there, but if I go on do this, I cannot complete the syllabus. Fine. So I stop unit 1 till this point of time, and I will discuss at later point of time if we get some time, maybe sometime after completion of sufficient syllabus. Again we will go back, do some more problems. We talk about non-elementary reactions in particular, but I start directly jumping to unit number 2 or some part of unit 1 which is very important for unit 2 connected from the next class. Clear? I have given enough problems, enough concepts, enough discussions. I myself given enough discussions with enough examples, but I don't know how much it has reached to you. But my perception is I always want quality. So maybe I talk very little, but that should be gone into your minds. నేను ఊరికనే సిలబస్ ఫుల్ కంప్లీట్ చేయాలి మైండ్ నాకు ఇప్పుడు ఉండదు. నేను సిలబస్ కూడా కంప్లీట్ చేయలేను. నేను ఎంత చెప్తే అంతవరకు లోపలికి వెళ్ళాలని ట్రై చేస్తాను. ఎందుకంటే ఆ స్ట్రాంగ్ ఫండమెంటల్స్ ఉండాలి. ఆ స్ట్రాంగ్ ఫండమెంటల్ బేస్ ఉందనుకో మీరు ఏ జాబ్కి వెళ్ళినా కాన్ఫిడెన్స్గా మాట్లాడగలుగుతారు. ఊరికనే అది చెప్పకుండా సిలబస్లో అన్ని లైన్స్ టక్ 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 చెప్పుకుంటే ఏం వస్తుంది? ఏం రాదు. నా పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ వ్యూలో ఉండదు. చెప్పేది కొంచెమైనా let I talk only delta part, but the delta part should be perception in the mind. Print అవ్వాలి కాన్సెప్ట్. ఎప్పుడైనా లేబులేటరీ ఉండాలి. కనెక్ట్ చేయాలి. సొసైటీల్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ కనెక్ట్ చేయాలి. మనం మాట్లాడి రియాక్షన్ రేట్స్కి రియల్ రియాక్షన్ రేట్స్కి ఈక్వల్ కదా చూసుకోవాలి. బాడీలో సో మెనీ రియాక్షన్స్ అవుతుంటాయి, బయాలజికల్ రియాక్షన్స్. ఆ రియాక్షన్ రేట్స్ బయట తిరిగే రియాక్షన్ రేట్స్ సేమా కదా చూసుకోవాలి. మీరు చూసుకోవాలి, కనెక్ట్ చేయాలి. మీరు N2 + 3H2 gives us 2NH3 అన్నాను. అదేంటిది? అది అమ్మోనియా ఫార్మేషన్. మీరు చూసేది అంటే బయట జరిగేది, లోపల జరిగేది. లోపల కూడా చాలా రియాక్షన్ జరుగుతున్నాయి కదా. ATP తెలుసు కదా, ఇగ్నోషన్ ట్రైఫాస్ఫేట్ ఎలా ఫామ్ అవుతుంది? మనం తినే ఫుడ్ గ్లూకోజ్, సుక్రోజ్, ఎంజైమ్స్ యాక్ట్ అయ్యి రియాక్షన్ జరిగితే ATP ఫామ్ అవుతుంది, ప్లస్ ఎనర్జీ రిలీజ్ అవుతుంది. అది కూడా రియాక్షన్ రేటే. మరి దాని రియాక్షన్ రేటు నేను అలా చూడగలుగుతాను. కానీ రియాక్షన్ రేట్స్ తెలుసుకోవాలి. తెలుసుకోలేదు ఏమవుతుంది? మనం అనుభవిస్తుంటాం రోజు ఎసిడిటీ ఫామ్ అవడం. ఎసిడిటీ ఫామ్ అవడం అంటే ఏంటి? యాసిడ్స్ రిలీజ్ అయిపోతున్నాయి. ఇనో తాగేస్తాం, బిస్లరీ సోడా తాగేస్తాం. ఎందుకు తాగేస్తాము? లోపల జరిగే రియాక్షన్ రేట్స్ మాకు అర్థం కావట్లేదు. ఏం పెరిగిపోతుంది, నేను సప్లిమెంట్ ఏం తీసుకోవాలి, ఆ రియాక్షన్ రేట్ ఎలా తగ్గించాలి. అక్కడ కూడా రియాక్షన్ జరిగేది. అక్కడ రేట్స్ వేరు, బయట జరిగే రేట్స్ వేరు.
బయట జరిగేవి మీరు చూస్తున్నారు, మీరు కంట్రోల్ చేస్తున్నారు, మ్యానిపులేట్ చేస్తున్నారు. నైట్రోజన్ అట్మాస్ఫియర్ లేదా హైడ్రోజన్ అట్మాస్ఫియర్ గ్యాసెస్ని కొద్దిగా ప్రెజర్ తగ్గించడమో టెంపరేచర్ తగ్గించి చేసి అమ్మోనియా పెంచుతున్నారు, కానీ లోపల జరిగేది. సో వీ హ్యావ్ టు అండర్స్టాండ్ ద రియాక్షన్స్ ఇన్ ఆల్ ఓవర్ ద నేచర్ అండ్ వీ షుడ్ కనెక్ట్ ఇట్. ఏది జీరో ఆర్డర్, ఏది ఫస్ట్ ఆర్డర్, ఏది సెకండ్ ఆర్డర్ తెలుసుకుంటేనే కదా మనము. తెలుసుకోలేదనుకో నేను చెప్పాను వెంటనే పళ్ళు పోతాయని చెప్పాను. ఎందుకు? సెకండ్ ఆర్డర్ రియాక్షన్ అది. చాలా స్పాంటేనియస్గా కొంచెం కాన్సన్ట్రేషన్ పెరిగితే 9 times పెరిగిపోతుంది. కొంచెం టెంపరేచర్ ఇస్తే టెంపరేచర్ డిపెండెన్సీ చూడండి, టెంపరేచర్ డిపెండెన్సీ ఆఫ్ రియాక్షన్ రేట్ కాన్స్టెంట్. ఒక్క 10 degrees రైస్ చేస్తాం అనుకో రియాక్షన్ డబుల్ అయిపోతుంది. 10 degrees రైస్ చేస్తే రియాక్షన్ డబుల్ అయిపోతుంది. మనం చూసాం ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్, ప్రాబ్లమ్ సాల్వ్ చేస్తాం. అంటే ఏంటి? టెంపరేచర్ ప్లేస్ వైటల్ రోల్, కాన్సన్ట్రేషన్స్ ప్లేసెస్ వైటల్ రోల్. సో వీ షుడ్ బి వెరీ కేర్ఫుల్, వెరీ అండర్స్టాండబుల్, వెరీ కనెక్టింగ్. కనెక్ట్ చేస్తూ అర్థం చేసుకుంటూ మాట్లాడాలి. నాకు ఇదే వచ్చు అని అనుకుంటే అంతే వేస్ట్. నాకు వచ్చిన నాలెడ్జ్ని వేరే దానికి కనెక్ట్ చేయాలి. నేను ఒక రియాక్షన్ చూశాను, నా దగ్గర ఉన్న రియాక్షన్ దీని కాన్సెప్ట్ని దానికి ఉపయోగించుకోవాలి. అప్పుడే నేను నేర్చుకున్నట్లు రియాక్షన్ దీని కాన్సెప్ట్ని. ఊరికనే ఏదో ఎగ్జామ్ పాస్ అవడానికో 80 మార్కులు తెచ్చుకోవాలనుకో ప్రయోజనం లేదు. అది ఏమొస్తుంది? అది 80 మార్కులు ఎవరికైనా వస్తుంది. ఏముంది? పేపర్ సింపుల్గా ఇచ్చినట్టు అందరికీ 80 వస్తాయి. నీ గొప్పగా ఏముంది అక్కడ? నీ గొప్పగా ఎప్పుడు ఉంటుంది? కాన్సెప్ట్ని కనెక్ట్ చేస్తూ మాట్లాడాలి, లాజికల్గా థింక్ చేయాలి. ఓకేనా? ఫైన్. సో ఐ స్టాప్ హియర్. విల్ డిస్కస్ a later part of time the non-element reactions and move to the batch continuous reactors in the next class. Okay. So maybe today I will give you an assignment with a different set of problems because many of the problems we covered. నేను అన్ని ఇక్కడ చెప్పేస్తున్నాను, అది నేను చెప్పకుండా మీకు మాట్లాడాలి. అదే అంటున్నాను కదా, LNKకి 1/T గ్రాఫ్ ఇస్తే ఏది రియాక్షన్ డామినెంట్, ఏది టెంపరేచర్ ఇన్సిడెంట్ మీరు చెప్పలేకపోతున్నారు. అంటే మీరు కాన్సెప్ట్ పెట్టట్లేదు. నేను ఒక గ్రాఫ్ ఇచ్చాను, గ్రాఫ్ ఏంటి, 1/T ఎక్కడ ఉంది, LNK ఎక్కడ ఉంది, K అంటే ఏంటి, ఏది పెరుగుతుంది, ఏది తగ్గుతుందని మీకు మైండ్కి వచ్చేసేయాలి అది. ఓకే? అర్థం కాకపోతే చెప్పండి, అట్లా ఊరికే కూర్చోండి. So I will give maybe around 5 to 10 problems as an assignment. Solve all on your own. అంత ట్రికీ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఇవ్వను, కొద్దిగా మీరు చేయగలిగే ఇస్తాను. ఓకేనా?